Dubai Point 2025, the wealthiest city on earth, was getting even wealthier. 9,800 millionaires, $63 billion, all flowing into one city in a single year. The largest migration of private wealth in human history. They came from London, Mumbai, Moscow, Shanghai. They bought penthouses in the marina, villas on the Palm, offices in the DIFC. Dubai wasn't just winning, it was dominating. And then, in the span of 28 days, almost all of it vanished. This is the story of the fastest wealth reversal in modern history. How a city that spent 2 decades building itself into the world's ultimate safe haven watched its richest residents flee almost overnight, and what happens when billions of dollars decide a place is no longer safe. To understand what was lost, you have to understand what was built. 30 years ago, Dubai was a modest trading port. Today, it's home to the world's tallest building, the world's booziest international airport, and until very recently, the fastest growing population of millionaires on the planet. In 2025, the Henley Private Wealth Migration Report dropped a number that stunned the financial world. Net inflow, plus 9,800 high net worth individuals. That's not people visiting. That's people moving, bringing their families, their businesses, their capital. To put this in perspective, Dubai attracted more millionaires than the United States, Singapore, Canada, and Australia combined. And these weren't just any millionaires. These were centimillionaires, people worth $100 million or more, at least 237 of them. Plus 20 billionaires. The pitch was elegant in its simplicity. Zell income tax, Zell capital gains tax, Zell inheritance tax. A golden visa program that took weeks, not years. Direct flights to every major financial center. A banking system that treated capital like royalty. For a British entrepreneur facing a 45% top income tax rate plus potential changes to non-dom rules. For a Russian oligarch navigating sanctions. For an Indian industrialist looking for a stable, neutral base. Dubai wasn't just ETTR active. It was the only rational choice. The UK sent the most, then China, then India, then Russia, then everywhere else. The Emirates built an end-to-end wealth migration machine. And the world's rich lined up Zello income tax, world-class infrastructure, political stability, and a regulatory framework that treats capital as partner rather than prey, created a compelling proposition. By the end of 2025, the math was staggering. 9,800 millionaires, estimated collective investable wealth. $60 parked in Dubai real estate, Dubai banks, Dubai businesses. The total value of Dubai's real estate market alone was estimated at over $700 billion. Residential prices had risen for 16 consecutive quarters. The Palm Jumeirah was selling villas for $80 million. Developer stocks on the Dubai financial market were at all-time highs. Everything was perfect, until it wasn't. February 28, 2026. In response to joint U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, Iran launched one of the largest coordinated missile and drone barrages in modern history. Approximately 1,700 projectiles, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, Shahed drones. More than 2/3 of them were aimed not at Israel, but at the United Arab Emirates. Roughly 90% were intercepted by U.S., Israeli, and Emirati defense systems. But 10% of Weftin 700 is still 170 projectiles getting through. The 5-star Fairmont, the Palm, was struck by an explosion. Debris from a downed Iranian drone set fire to the Burj Al Arab, the iconic sail-shaped hotel that had become the symbol of Dubai's ambition. And most critically, Dubai International Airport, one of the busiest in the world, was damaged by a missile strike. In one night, the implicit promise that had drawn $63 billion to Dubai was broken. That promise was simple: Dubai is safe. You have to understand something about the ultra-wealthy. They don't make their safety decisions the way governments want them to. They don't wait for official statements. They don't read white papers. They move on instinct. And their instinct, honed over generations of capital preservation, is simple. When you hear gunfire, you don't ask who's shooting. You leave. The exodus didn't take months. It took weeks. Within less than a week of the attack, private jet departures from Dubai, Muscat, and Riyadh spiked 98%. Every available aircraft was booked. Flight tracking data showed a caravan of Gulfstreams, Bombardiers, and Dassault Falcons Heading west to London, to Geneva, to Singapore, NBC reported that Dubai's super-rich were paying megabucks to flee the UAE. Private charter companies couldn't keep up with demand. Some wealthy families reportedly paid upwards of $150,000 for a single one-way private flight to Europe. On the ground, the numbers told the story. In JBR, Dubai Marina and downtown Dubai, the three neighborhoods where the wealthy concentrated, landlords reported a 15 to 20% increase in lease termination inquiries. Within just 10 days, an estimated 30,000 British nationals, the single largest expat group in the UAE, left in April alone. Overall, more than 40,000 expatriates departed in roughly 28 days. And these weren't just any expats. These were the people who owned the apartments, funded the startups, booked the restaurants, and filled the private schools. Dubai's economic model is based on expatriate residents providing the brains, brawn, and investment capital. You need stability and security to bring in smart foreigners. So here's the question you clicked on this video for 63 billion. Where did it go? The answer isn't as simple as they took it and left. Physical cash doesn't work that way. You can't put a Dubai penthouse in a suitcase. Let's break down what happened to that money across three categories. First, real estate. This was the biggest chunk. Most of that $63 billion was parked in Dubai property. Apartments, villas, commercial buildings. When the wealthy fled, they didn't sell on day one. You can't sell a $20 million Palm Jumeirah villa in 48 hours. But what they did was list, and the market, notice the Dubai Financial Market Real Estate Index, which tracks developer stocks like Emaar, Damac, and Aldar, plunged approximately 30% from its pre-war peak of 16,140 points, down to around 11,500. That erased every gain made in 2025. Bloomberg reported that Dubai real estate bonds racked up steep losses. Fitch Ratings, which had already predicted a correction in late 2025, said prices could fall as much as 15% from peak to trough. Physical property prices in established areas like Dubai Marina and Jumeirah Lake Towers fell 15 to 25% from their recent highs, with no signs of stabilization. Now here's the second place money went. Now, it got trapped. Because here's the thing about Dubai real estate that most outsiders don't understand. Dubai property isn't liquid, even in a good market. Selling a luxury apartment can take months in a crisis, with thousands of units hitting the market simultaneously. Buyers vanish. Nobody wants to catch a falling knife. So billions of dollars in property sat listed but unsold. The owners were already in London or Singapore or Geneva, but their money was still stuck in Dubai concrete and glass. The third category is what did move: liquid assets, cash, stocks, bonds, crypto. And this is where Dubai took its big jest hit, because when a millionaire leaves, they don't just take their body, they close their bank accounts, they move their investment portfolios, they transfer their family office. And that capital, unlike real estate, can move at the speed of a wire transfer. Where did it go? London regained much of what it had lost. Switzerland, the old reliable. Singapore emerged as perhaps the big jest winner, positioning itself as Asia's Dubai but actually safe. Some went to the Caribbean, some to Monaco, some back to their home countries, but very little of it stayed in Dubai. Here's what makes the Dubai story different from every other real estate crash in history. Dubai is not a country, it's a city-state within the UAE. And its entire economic model, everything from its skyscrapers to its restaurants to its private schools, is built on a single assumption that wealthy foreigners will always want to be there. This isn't the first time. In 2008-2009, the global financial crisis caused Dubai property values to drop 50 to 60%. Dubai World, the state-owned conglomerate, nearly defaulted on $26 billion in debt. Abu Dhabi had to step in with a $10 billion bailout just to keep the lights on. Dubai recovered from that. It took a decade, but it rebuilt, rebranded, and came back stronger. But 2026 is different. In 2009, the problem was financial. Money dried up, but the region was stable. In 2026, the problem is existential. The core promise, Dubai is safe, has been broken by actual missile shitting actual buildings. And here's the cruel irony, the very thing that made Dubai's recovery possible after 2009. Abu Dhabi's financial backing can't fix this. You can bail out a bank, you can't bail out a reputation for safety. So what happens now? Some money will come back, it always does. The Iran conflict may de-escalate. A ceasefire might hold. Porty at a 25% discount will attract bargain hunters. Dubai has proven resilient before. But the $63 billion question isn't really about the money. It's about whether the world's wealthy will ever fully trust Dubai again. Because they didn't just leave with their billions. They left with something Dubai can't easily replace, the belief that their money was safe there. $63 billion didn't literally disappear. It dispersed. It fled to safer harbors. To cities that hadn't been hit by missiles. To countries that felt, at least for now, like better bets. What disappeared was the illusion. The idea that Dubai had transcended geography, that it had somehow placed itself outside the risk map of the Middle East. That illusion was expensive. It cost 9,800 millionaires their sense of security. It cost Dubai its reputation as the ultimate safe haven. And it may cost the city years, if not decades, of recovery. If you want to understand where global wealth is moving next, and which cities are winning the battle for the world's richest residents, subscribe and hit the bell.